To me, the West Bank could have took over that. You know, even though Carr won, Shaw could have won, you know what I'm saying? And Shaw, y'all could have been having a quest of a dynasty. If y'all would have won back to back, y'all could have been on a quest for a dynasty. So you got to look at it all ways, though, cuz. You got to look at it all ways that he messed up, you know what I'm saying? You did. And he messed up bad, not just being selfish to himself. He didn't look out for his players. Real shit. He didn't look out for the players at all from doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because like my other cousin, he was saying like they was cheated and all that. Nah, man, if you take off your helmet, you know what I'm saying? Because trust me, if you take off your helmet during a game, at the end of the game or not, they can lay up there and flag you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was writing out and looking at the rules of the high school football rules and all that, you know, but it don't say in the rule book that during play, you have to take off your helmet and start celebrating.
I be spitting them facts, your opinion be whack. I got the microphone smoking, it's like I got it on crack. Yeah, I'm bringing it back, like a name on the jersey. I do my thing every week, so tune in every Thursday. Sweep it up like a broom, the elephants in the room. Feeling like MJ, I walk it out on the moon. These boys faster than Zoom, I'm floating like a balloon. I'm from the wood to the tomb, I'm repping the green room. Yeah.
What up, world? Welcome to the Green Room with Gipp and Glow, and I'm your host who does the most, Gipp Star, a.k.a. Gippy, a.k.a. Mojo, a.k.a. Cocky Bell Boy, a.k.a. you can call me whatever you want, but just don't call me Collect. Man, it is episode 6, season 2, and I'm there so happy that I'm getting this shit going, you know what I'm saying? Real shit, you know. I gotta live there and say again and again and again, welcome to the best podcast show, sports show on the West Bank. In LGS. Real shit, you know what I'm saying? And I have to live up there and thank a few people because I said something on my podcast about people not tagging me and the followers not tagging me. And they stepped their game up. So shout out to the people who laid up there and stepped their game up on the statement that I made. And I'm here to live up there and do this shit, you know what I'm saying? Real shit, you know? And I got to live up there and shout out to my wife. I got to shout out to my wife because she was telling me on something, like, to be honest with you, this is the most patient and nice woman I ever met. The most patient and nice person that I ever met. But I have to disagree with my wife on some shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not that nice. I'm a mean motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a mean motherfucker because sometimes nice guys finish last. And when I mean by nice guys finish last, you can't be nice to certain people. Real shit. You can't be nice to certain people, you know what I'm saying? But my wife, she kind of different from that. She is real patient and real nice, you know what I'm saying? But I'm about to live there, get into the show and all that there, you know what I'm saying? But before we get into anything, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel, Gipp Star ENT45. Yes, Gipp Star ENT45. GIPPSTAR ENT45. Don't forget the 45. And today's show is sponsored by Goddess Body. Like I said before, ladies, go get your shapers, go get your waist trains, go get your thigh highs. Located in the Oakwood Shopping Center, you know what I'm saying? You did. I'm going to say it once, I'm going to say it twice, and I'm going to keep on saying it. Ladies, if you got curves when you hot, Goddess Body is the spot. Man, let's get into it, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to live there and give a shout out to the Edna Cougars. Yes, the Edna Cougars, man. They just didn't put belt to ass. They went to a tree and went got a switch on St. O. Switch the ass, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I got to live there and give them a shout out because it was like, you know, like besides sports, the West Bank had a second line, and Cross the River had a second line, like the Do-Man Gang and the West Bank Steppers. And then I seen a lot of people shitting on the West Bank second line. But at the same time, West Bank, we do got to do better, you know, from Harvey, the Marrero to Gretna, even though y'all not Orleans Parish, you know what I'm saying? But y'all minutes away from LGS. So we got to live there and do better, you know what I'm saying? We got to have that shit like 9-top, you know? You dig? And speaking of 9-top, you know, it would seem like Carr was 9-top and St. Aug was fucking Zulu. So, hey, big shout out to the fucking 9-top over the Zulu, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get into it right quick, you know what I'm saying? High school championship football game between Shaw and St. Charles Catholic. Man, I was looking at my cousin Facebook page, and he felt like Shaw was cheated. He felt like Shaw was cheated, but, you know, a lot of people going to look at that different. You know, because like they had a dude number 50. He had started celebrating early. When he started celebrating early, they throw the penalty. When they throw the penalty and all that shit there, you know, it was time for short a punt, and they blocked the punt. But if they never threw the penalty, you can't really say if they was gonna block the punt or not, you know. But I have to. I was looking at my my other cousin Facebook page, D'Artagnan Miller, because he's a Shaw alumni. By his being a Shaw alumni, he was saying he was with number 50. But you got to think about this, cuz. You got to think about this. Now, just say if me and you was on that team and I was in number 50 shoes and I laid up there and got overexcited and overwhelmed and took off my helmet and got a penalty. Real shit, cuz you would have been mad as a motherfucker saying, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You didn't cost us the game. Why did you do that? So you got to look at it how the players on his team felt. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you showing them sympathy. You know what I'm saying? But I pity the fool who showed them fucking sympathy, you did. Why he should have did that? Because let me tell you one thing. When it's a one-possession game, you're supposed to celebrate when it's 0-0-0 on the clock. 0-0-0 on the clock. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? They saying they was criticizing the dude. I'm part of the ones who's gonna criticize him and shit like that, you did, because there's no excuse for that. You got to look at if you was in his shoes and other people was playing on that team. So I'm going to put myself in those shoes and say like I was number 50 and throw it off my helmet and start celebrating. And cuz if you was on that team, you would have got mad. Straight up, cuz. You would have been fucking mad that I did that, you know what I'm saying? A terrible mistake, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you in a rumble, you also got to be humble. And number 50 wasn't humble when they was engaged in the rumble. You know, and that's quite kind of crazy when people from a different, how can I say it, like a people from like the other side of the shoe look at it, because like they say he's just a kid. Man, that's high school football. You playing for it all. And then the look of it is like, to me, the West Bank could have took over that. You know, even though Carr won, Shaw could have won, you know what I'm saying? And Shaw, y'all could have been having a quest of a dynasty. If y'all would have won back-to-back, y'all could have been on a quest for a dynasty. So you got to look at it all ways, though, cuz. You got to look at it all ways that he messed up, you know what I'm saying? You did. And he messed up bad, not just being selfish to himself. He didn't look out for his players. Real shit. He didn't look out for the players at all from doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because like my other cousin, he was saying like they was cheated and all that. Nah, man, if you take off your helmet, you know what I'm saying? Because trust me, if you take off your helmet during a game, at the end of the game or not, they can lay up there and flag you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was writing out and looking at the rules of the high school football rules and all that, you know, but it don't say in the rule book that during play, you have to take off your helmet and start celebrating. It don't say that, you know what I'm saying? Because look at it like, you got to look at it like this, cuz. You never know what the referees was thinking. The referees probably thought he was taunting. You got to look at it like that. You don't know what was said on the field when he took his helmet off, you know, upon celebration. Real shit, I had to get that out there, cuz. I really had to get that out there because, like, I really laid up there and look at your comments on Facebook and Instagram, and you were showing some sympathy that I wouldn't have showed. I wouldn't have showed no sympathy because of that shit you did, because he knew better. He knew better, you know what I'm saying? You know how they said if you touch your hand, if you put your hand on the stove, you're gonna get burned. But if you know better not to lay up there and put your hand on the stove. So he knew better not to do that. You know what I'm saying? And you mean to tell me, did he ever, this is a question I want to ask like that. Did he ever did that during the season? Did he ever did that during the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Because once you lay up there and hit the playoffs, victory is victory to go to another level to win the championship. You know? By doing that in the playoffs, to me, my opinion, he cost show. Real shit. Real shit, he cost show. He cost them the game by doing that, you know? Because I can't be on that side of the field giving him sympathy. You know what I'm saying? I only pity the fool. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't pitying that fool right there, you know. He really fucked up. You know? But we gonna lay up there and skip on that and go to call and say no. Man, that was a real belt the ass. Excuse me, I ain't gonna say belt the ass. That was a switch the ass. You know how when your mama lived there and make you go out there and go get a switch? You know, like that's back in my mama in them days or my father in them days and shit like that, because you can't get no switch on nobody. No, but Cop went got a switch and put it on St. Aug ass. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was really thinking that y'all was that experienced over a team like this? Cop is like ranked in the nation. Y'all kind of ranked in the state. You know what I'm saying? But Carr's ranked in the nation, you know what I'm saying? And they've been there plenty of times. The last time I heard that St. Aug was in the state championship, 1979. 1979, damn. That was the year I was born. And that's the year I was born and shit like that, you know? And Carr had multiple championships as we was coming up, you know? St. Aug didn't have no multiple championships. That was a real belt to fucking ass, switch the ass, you know, 9-top over Zulu, you did, because I was looking at that shit though, you know. They brought in the truck, you know what I'm saying? They brought in, not the truck, the buses. They was tailgating, you know what I'm saying? Like, saying no, really went to the Super Bowl. Real shit, they ran up there, they was doing it all. They lay up there, got disappointed. The mothers, the fathers, the students, the cheerleaders. I don't even know if they got cheerleaders at St. Aug, because that's an all-boys school. But anyway, y'all got disappointed, you know. And on my last podcast, I said that y'all was gonna get beat down. You know what I'm saying? When I was laying up there speaking to Leonard Farneette. And speaking to Leonard Farneette, you know what I'm saying, you did? Man, Leonard Farneette, man. To me, my honest opinion on Leonard Farneette, I don't know him as a person. I don't know him as a person, you know what I'm saying, you did? All I know is he's a good player, good running back, played for LSU, played for Jacksonville, won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay and all that. But deep down, Leonard Farneette, you are so fucking loser. Real shit, you are so fucking loser, Leonard Farneette. You know what I'm saying? Because I was laying up there looking, and you laid up there and had the audacity to lay up there and say, all Call do is win championships, you know what I'm saying? And then you'll be seeing them under the bridge. Under the bridge, you know what I'm saying? If anybody laid up there and caught that figurative language, or if he meaning by saying under the bridge, he called players bums. He really called player bums, you know what I'm saying? And let's go into the audio on what the hell Leonard Farneette said about call players. Man, like I said before, Leonard Farneette, you are a so fucking loser. Because if, like I said before, if the shoe was on the other foot, you would have been gotten on Instagram, on all these social media platforms. I told y'all so. I told y'all so that we was going to win and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You did, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I deep down, I think you know it wasn't going to happen. But if you really thought that St. Aug was going to win Leonard Farneette, you losing your fucking mind. You really losing your fucking mind. And for you to have to lay up there and say, these dudes is under the bridge, like they bums. Name a lot of dudes who went in the NFL that went to St. Aug. I can only name two. You and Tyrann Mathieu. You know what I'm saying? You and Tyrann Mathieu, you know what I'm saying? But they do have a few notable players that did go to Carr. I know at least one. You know, Patrick Surtain. You know, but by you winning the Super Bowl, saying that's the only championships they gonna get, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. Man, dog, you was a participant on Tampa Bay. You wasn't no factor. Real shit, Leonard Farneette. You wasn't no factor for that Super Bowl. You probably was doing a little something, doing a playoff run, but you wasn't really no fucking factor in that Super Bowl when Tampa Bay won it, because they had people that was better than you in there, like Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, you know what I'm saying, Mike Evans, you know what I'm saying, and the legendary Tom Brady. So where did you lay up there was the factor at in that fucking Super Bowl? I understand you got a ring and all that you did. The cheerleaders got a ring. The coaching staff's got a ring. You know what I'm saying? But for you to lay up there and call players bums, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't really say bums. You call them under the bridge. You said they gonna be under the bridge. What under the bridge mean? You're a bum. You know what I'm saying? But deep down to me, Leonard Fournette, you're so fucking loser. Straight the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I don't know you as a person. You know what I'm saying? And I lay up there and give you that you was a good player from high school to the pros. You know what I'm saying? But deep down, you're a fucking so loser. You know what I'm saying? To make a statement like that, you could have laid up there and got on the platforms and say, congratulations to Cole. They did their thing. You know what I'm saying? Just like your coach, the coach at St. Nog said that Carr was a really good team, and Carr coach said that St. Nog was a really good team. You get on that bitch and lay up there and say, man, they win his championship rings in high school, and they're going to be under the bridge. Man, you's a fucking so loser. Real shit, dog. You's a fucking so loser. So you know Mr. I ain't buying gonna say, I ain't buying it, Leonard Fournette, you know what I'm saying? Get the fuck on from that shit, you did. And I'm moving on from that, you know, because that's phony. That's phony, you know what I'm saying? That's people behind you. That's kids. That's really kids, you know what I'm saying? Now, what if your kid play a football game, you dig? If you do have a son or not, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know you as a person. If you do have a son or a nephew or a cousin, you know what I'm saying, you dig? If somebody lived up there and said that in your face about their team, I think you're going to speak up and say something about it. So by you laying up there saying that you did, that makes you a so fucking loser, you know what I'm saying? And then I hope you did bet and lost some fucking bread on that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what so losers do, lose, you know what I'm saying? And that's what winners do, win, you know? Straight up, you know what I'm saying? When you lay up there, you have a lot of friends when you get wins. You will get abused when you get on fucking lose. And that's all I got for that shit there, you know what I'm saying? Moving on to that, you know what I'm saying? Ty Bowles, the coach of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is holding his team accountable for the loss against Atlanta. Ty Bowles, how the fuck you gonna hold your team players accountable for that loss? I understand that Baker Mayfield got up on the podium and said he'll take the blame for it, but that's what quarterbacks do. When quarterbacks win, you know what I'm saying, they get the fame. But when quarterbacks lose, they get the blame. But you lay up there and say that players got to be accountable for their actions on the field. Man, let's lay up there and go into the audio about what Ty Bowles, you did. I was about to say Ty Bowles because you, Ty Loose Bowles because you shits. Straight up. You fucking shit, you know what I'm saying? You did. You and Carolina is up in neck and neck for the NFC South. Let's go into the audio what Ty Bowles said about his players.
At this point, you've seen everything in the season. You know, the coaches have done everything they do. This is a player-driven team in the last 4 or 5 weeks. You got to execute, and they got to hold each other accountable. As a coach, you can sit there till you blue in the face until they start holding each other accountable and doing the little things right. And that's not everybody. We're talking about a small select few, but the small select few is what's getting us beat. And until that happens, it's not going to get right. So we got to get up and go to work tomorrow. No matter how bad today looks, you got to put it behind you, and we got to win the last 3 games. We know that.
That's crazy, Ty Bowles. And you know what I think? You know what I think, Ty Bowles? I think you're on the hot seat. For you to make that statement right there, I think you on the house. I think your job is in jeopardy. So, to me, I think this. If Tampa Bay don't reach the playoffs, you're going to get fired. If Tampa Bay don't reach the playoffs and Carolina win that division, you're going to get fired. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you'll come back. They're going to terminate your contract. You know what I'm saying? And hoping they do terminate your contract, you know what I'm saying, for making a statement like that. That's the type of statement that you're supposed to be behind closed doors. Not at no fucking podium. Blaming your players. You know what I'm saying? Blaming your players. Because I think Mike Evans just came off an injury. You know what I'm saying? But that's not no excuse for him to drop the ball or whatever. No excuse for Baker Mayfield to throw interception or whatever or whatnot. But for you to lay up there and get at a press conference and say that you got to hold the players accountable, you're the first coach I ever heard say some shit like that. Now, name me one coach that ever laid up there and say that they hold the players accountable. The coach gonna lay up there. The coach supposed to say the blame is on me. That's all me. That's what the coach supposed to say, you know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, when you get in the locker room, you get on their ass. You did, but you lay up there and got on national TV and say some dumb shit like that. That shit is all in social media. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, Ty Bowles, I think your job is in jeopardy. You're on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? Nobody not saying it, but I'm here to report it first. Ty Bowles' job is on the hot seat. Real shit. His job is on the hot seat, and that's what I really think about it. And moving on from that, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, you make friends when you have wins. You get abused when you lose. You did, RG3, a.k.a. Robert Griffith III, says Jaden Daniels shouldn't play another game this season. Do y'all agree? I really do agree. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, he wasn't even supposed to come back. They were supposed to shut him down this season. He got an elbow injury. I don't know if that's his throwing arm or not, you know, but they were supposed to shut him down. They let him come back to get re-injured again. You know, but that's why, like on my last podcast, I was saying Jaden Daniels is turning into RG4. Because you got, you know, like I said, Robert Griffin was a rookie, went to the playoffs, got hurt. He had got hurt during the playoff game. Now Jaden Daniels went to the championship game next season, gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? 2 Heisman Trophy winners, 2 second-year players that got hurt, you know what I'm saying? And you don't think that's kind of a pattern at Washington? Do you think that's a pattern at Washington? You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead into the audio of Robert Griffith III saying that Jaden Daniels shouldn't play another down this season.
What advice do you have for JD5 as he goes through his career? My feeling is he shouldn't play another game this season. It's not because you guys are just out of the playoffs. It's not because the record is bad. It's because he's had like 3 or 4 injuries that have popped up. The team, in my opinion, needs to protect him from himself. We've seen it flying around. They're like, well, we don't want JD5 to become like RG3 did when my career got shortened by injury. He's not me. His situation is completely different. My advice to him would be, don't allow the outside noise affect how he leads and what he does and how he plays. But at the same time, my advice to the teams would be, take care of your young quarterback.
Real shit. Real shit. Because like the injuries that they have, like Michael Paulson, Patrick Mahomes, they're not gonna come back the start of the season. Both of them got ACL injuries, but you have an elbow injury, Jaden Daniels. By you having an elbow injury, you have a shot to come back at the start of training camp. So I would really take RG3 advice and don't come back, which we know you're not going to come back this year. You know what I'm saying? You got the Eagles 2 times. You got the Eagles 2 times, and I don't think it's going to be rough playing the Eagles. You got the Eagles and you got the Cowboys. That's going to be 3 rough games, and all of them divisional games, and they need your help ready for next year. You know, so I definitely agree with Robert Griffin on saying that they need to lay up there, not play you another game this season. Another game, another down. You know, shit, you need to be in a press box. You don't even need to be on the sideline. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing about these injuries. These injuries really take a long time to heal. You know, and there's another thing. Another thing. Who advised you to come back? You know what I'm saying? That's why you're not a good fit for Washington. If they advise you to come back, even though that y'all was eliminated from the playoffs, why would they advise you to come back to play another game and get re-injured? That's fucking crazy. That's really crazy. You know what I'm saying? I really think you're a better fit at another team. I don't know which team, but you're not no good fit at Washington because you're going to constantly get hurt. That's just my opinion, and I hope you don't get hurt, you know, but you're going to constantly get hurt fucking with Washington. To me, the Washington Commanders is a debt trap. It's a debt trap because that team is a setup for you to get a career-ending injury. You know what I'm saying? And you're a good player, Jaden Daniels, but not for Washington. I don't think you should lay up there and be at Washington. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're on a rookie contract, you know, and this is gonna be your 3rd year next season on your rookie contract, and you probably have to play another year. But I'll get out of there. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? You got your mama as your manager, momager, whatever they call that shit you did. I advise him to get out there. Moms, Jen Daniel moms, get him out of there. Get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Moving on from that, you know, college football. College football, you know. And I got to say about college football, Tulane is hosting Ole Miss, and I think they're going to win. Yes, I'm pulling for Tulane because Lane Kiffin not there. I think the team going to be different when the head coach is not there. You think y'all going to play for a national championship when the coach is out of there? And y'all about to, y'all have an intern coach? This is Tulane's revenge. Straight up, this is Tulane revenge to get back at Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? Get their mistakes out the way and learn from their mistakes they when they played the first game, because y'all played in Oxford, you did, which y'all got to play for Oxford again, in Oxford again. But y'all can really show these dudes that y'all can beat them. Real shit. Y'all can show them that y'all can beat them. So I'm rooting for Tulane, a New Orleans team, and we should live there and get in that second round. But speaking of college football, Bryce Underwood is coming back to LSU. Bryce Underwood is coming back to LSU. That's a good decision. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all head coach at fucking Michigan, he pussy crazy. He pussy crazy. He actually laid up there and broke into his mistress' house, the one he was having an affair with, broke into her house, and then when you get caught, you try to kill yourself. You dig? I think they say you was holding a knife to your own fucking neck and all that, you did, because you got caught. You got caught. You know what I'm saying? But we need Bryce Underwood at LSU because Gary Nussmeier, he's going to the pros, and I think his draft stock, I think his stocks didn't drop. His draft stocks didn't drop. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Gary Nussmeier as a 4th rounder. A 4th rounder. Ain't no way he'll be a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. Bullshit. With the injuries and all that. He got to live up there and impress the pro scouts. He really got to impress the pro scouts for to live up there, be a 3rd rounder. But I'm completely taking him out the fucking 1st and 2nd. Real shit. I'm completely taking him out the 1st and 2nd round. Garrett Nussmeier is completely out the 1st and 2nd round. You know what I'm saying? But he got to really impress the pro scouts just to make it 3rd round. But I give him 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round. Real. But Bryce Underwood, because the quarterback that they had, I don't even know the dude's name because I had stopped watching LSU when they were fucking. The last time I watched LSU when they lost to Texas A&M. You know what I'm saying? And even though I got an LSU jersey on, shout out to Aaron Anderson. Shout out to Aaron Anderson and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really wearing the purple and gold for the defeat of St. I'm really wearing the purple and gold because of the defeat of St. You know what I'm saying? Because St. You got trash, but we ain't on that no more. We not on that no more. You know, yeah, Bryce Underwood. Yes. Yes, man. Come home, you did, because you flipped on us the first time. When you flipped up on us the first time, it didn't work out. You actually think y'all was going to beat Ohio State with you? It didn't happen. Y'all got blown out. You know what I'm saying? Come take that same energy and play Texas A&M and Alabama. Bryce Underwood, come take that same energy and come play against Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. The ones that they put a shellacking on LSU. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think you can live up there and beat Ohio State. The Big Ten is too much for you. But come down to the SEC. The Big Ten is too much for Bryce Underwood. You know what I'm saying? This shit, I'm moving on. Not only that, we're not moving on. You know LSU had a $13 million NIL deal for players to win it all. $13 million. So just imagine what they're putting up next season. Maybe higher, maybe lower. We know, who knows? Who knows? But I hope Lane Kiffin get it done. Just to see at least a playoff. Because LSU, Y'all laid up there and got invited to the Texas Bowl to play Houston. The Texas Bowl? You know a lot of people ain't gonna play in that shit like Harold Perkins, Garrett Nussmeier, a few of them. You did? Aaron Anderson. You know a lot of them is not gonna play in that Texas Bowl. That shit is whack. That's like the Walmart Bowl, the Winn-Dixie Bowl. You know what I'm saying? The Albertsons Bowl. You know what's that? That's still down here. That used to be back in the days in New Orleans. The Danny and Clyde Bowl. That what the fuck that is. If it ain't playoffs, it's nothing. Straight up. If it ain't playoffs, LSU, it's nothing. So we glad that Bryce Underwood is coming back to LSU. Hopefully, you know, because we know he transferred. We into the transfer protocol. Hopefully he come back. You know what I'm saying? And do his thing. Moving on from that, you know what I'm saying? We moving on to basketball. You know what I'm saying? and I, excuse me, man, Victor Wembenyama. Victor Wembenyama eliminated OKC from the in-season tournament. Looked like Victor Wembenyama did it by himself. You know what I'm saying? Because this is my thing about OKC. They're a really good, strong fucking team. You know what I'm saying? But they can be stopped. They can be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Victor Wembanyama eliminated them to play the New York Knicks in the NBA in-season tournament finals. Now, is they going to play and beat New York? I think so. I really think so, you know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like Karl-Anthony Towns, he not adjusting to Mike Brown's offense. This motherfucker still shooting threes like he Klay Thompson or Steph Curry. You's a big man. You's a big man, Big Cat. Why the fuck you laying up there come shoot threes and doing all this dribbling and all that, you know what I'm saying? The only person I say that's really tall like that really got those skills, the dribble, shoot threes, and do it all, is Victor Wembanyama. He got dribble, he got a shot, you know what I'm saying? And he got D. We all know he can dunk and shit like that, you did, but we ain't gonna talk about that. He can probably jump. He could dunk without jumping. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? But to me, by Victor Wembanyama being on the Spurs, and this is my opinion, I think that the Spurs are a threat to OKC. Now, do y'all think that's a new rival, the Spurs and OKC? Because that's the only team I can lay up there and see stopping OKC is the Spurs. Real shit. You know, like those old rivals like the Bulls and the Knicks or the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings. This is the new rival. Real shit. The new rival. The Spurs and the Thunder. Real fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Victor Wembanyama doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I liked it when he came in the league. You know what I'm saying? But only thing he got to do is get off them injuries. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't played a full season yet. But I have a question for y'all. Do you think OKC is going to beat the Golden State Warriors record, 73-9 record? The 73-9 record. Do you think OKC is going to beat that record? If you think that OKC is going to beat the Golden State Warriors 73-9 record, comment on my Facebook at Mojo Thompson or comment on my Instagram at GippStar1021. Man, I don't think so. You know, because I'm looking at NBA TV, you know what I'm saying, or NBA Live, whatever it is, and Kendrick Perkins, a.k.a. K. Percocet, you know what I'm saying? I have to call him that, you know what I'm saying, because Kendrick Perkins, that's his first name. Perkins is his last name, but I'm going to call him Percocet because he be setting it off. K. Percocet. Kendrick Perkins said that OKC have a possibility to go 80-2. Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Now, they have a chance to beat the 96 Bulls record, but in my opinion, I strongly believe that OKC is not going to go no 80-2, but I don't think this is going to beat the Golden State Warriors record. No. It got a long way to go now. A long way to go for you to say that. We're not even out the 2025 year, entering the 2026 year. We're not even out that yet. For you to say that they're gonna go 80-2. Fuck no, man. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? And we moving on from that, you know what I'm saying? And back to Kendrick Perkins. You know what I'm saying? K. Perkins says that Giannis Antetokounmpo is a coward for not stating that he doesn't want to be at the Milwaukee Bucks. Wow, that's big. That's big to call somebody a coward, K. Perk. You know what I'm saying? And then you said it respectfully. You said it respectfully. Now, this the dude who brought y'all Milwaukee a championship. You know, I understand he probably don't want to be there, but that's the business. That's the business. Sometimes it gets personal doing business. You know what I'm saying? It's for the players to be personal and for the owners to do business. But for calling him a coward, you know what I'm saying, you did, that was big. Let's lay up there and check out the audio on what Kendrick Perkins said about Giannis Antetokounmpo from being a coward.
Giannis is a coward.
We're gonna talk for 5.
Giannis is a coward. Giannis is a coward. And I say that respectfully. He don't want to be there. And it's okay. Instead of him just coming out and saying, trade me, and stand on it. My time is up. Because I'm tired of it, bro. It can't be reports come out. This is what it is. This is how it's going. Giannis won out. And Giannis comes and like, oh, nah. Tell me I'm right, Shannon.
I think Perkins is right.
Thank you.
Honestly, Richard, Perkins. The what if, the back and forth is becoming more of a distraction than if Giannis had said, and I'm saying this because Giannis has earned the right to make any decision for himself in his career and his life. If you just say, yes, I've asked for a trade, but I'm focused on the team until we can figure something out.
That would be a distraction. The fuck are we talking
It's
about?
less than this back and forth. We're talking about what Kuzma said, what the GM said, what Giannis said.
Wow. Really wild, man. You know, I wonder if you would have said that in Giannis' face, Kendrick Perkins, that he's a coward. You know what I'm saying? Then you saying that respectfully and shit like that, you know. I wonder what you would have said that in his face. Because this is another thing about you athletes. You athletes go off like y'all street dudes. You athletes are not street dudes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get on this camera like Draymond Green, Kendrick Perkins, Ja Morant. You know what I'm saying? Y'all dudes really is not no fucking street dudes. How can y'all be street dudes and y'all was gym rats? You can't be in the streets and be in the gym at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I never really knew one person in the pros that's a street dude. Now you've been surrounded by the streets and all that, but by being in the streets, no. But when y'all get on this the podcasts, the internet and all that shit there, y'all act like fucking street dudes and y'all not. Straight up. Y'all not, you know what I'm saying? So can you lay up there and be a street? Do y'all know how to be a street nigga? Y'all was gym rats. You know what I'm saying? And not on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't even have no fucking girls in y'all life. Y'all was too much of a gym rat to have girls in y'all life, you know? The streets and women was a distraction. So, again, Kendrick Perkins, I wonder if you would have called Giannis a coward in his face. Because this shit need to stop. Draymond Green, Kendrick Perkins, Ja Morant, this shit need to stop. This street talk. You know what I'm saying? Be professional like y'all are. That's what the pros is, professional. You know what I'm saying? Y'all laying up there be talking this street talk like y'all really street dudes when y'all not. Y'all got to stop it. Y'all really got to stop that shit, you know? Because y'all ain't met street dudes like I did. Y'all ain't really met no street. I'm from New Orleans. And I hope they live there and see this podcast one day and know that I'm from New Orleans. I've really seen street dudes. I've really seen street dudes. Y'all ain't seen no fucking street dudes like that. Like, again, y'all was gym rats. You know what I'm saying? Y'all probably spending 12, 14 hours a day in the gym. How you have the time to be in the streets? How you have time to be in the streets if y'all was gym rats? You know what I'm saying? You ain't hear Kobe lay up there talk street. You don't hear LeBron talk street. You don't hear Michael Jordan talk street. You don't hear Luka talking street. You know what I'm saying? You don't even hear Brian Westbrook talking street. You know, he probably talk mad, but you don't hear them dudes talking about no fucking streets. But y'all dudes like, you did Kenyon Martin, another one. I forgot about him. Kenyon Martin is a whole nother one. You did Nick Young, another one. Y'all dudes are not street. Stop it, man. Get off that fucking shit, you know what I'm saying? Real shit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm leaving for that with a thought for y'all mind, you know what I'm saying? A thought for your mind. If you are so loser, put a Band-Aid on it. Again, let me say that again. If you're a sore loser, put a Band-Aid on it. Leonard Farneette, put a Band-Aid on that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because certain shit y'all say, you know what I'm saying? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? You be happy when you win, and you get mad when you fucking lose. You know what I'm saying? That's a sore loser. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no sore winners. There is no fucking sore winners. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? You gain friends when it comes down to wins, but you will get abused when you lose. And that makes you a sore loser. Real shit. And that's all I got for y'all from the Green Room with Gipp and Glue. I'm your host who does the most. Gipp Star, a.k.a. Gippy, a.k.a. Moju, a.k.a. Cocky Bell Boy, a.k.a. you can call me what you want, but we out of there. Holla.
Sweep it up like a broom, the elephants in that room. Feeling like MJ, I walk it out on the moon. These boys faster than Zoom, I'm floating like a balloon. I'm from the womb to the tomb, I'm repping the Green Room. Yeah.